Grayanotoxins are naturally occurring plant compounds found in certain members of the rhododendron family. These plants grow in various regions of the world, including high-altitude Himalayan forests. From a scientific perspective, grayanotoxins are not viewed as mysterious or unusual. They are one example of how plants produce defensive chemistry in response to their environment. Science approaches grayanotoxins in a very specific way. Researchers do not focus on assumptions or effects alone. Instead, they measure presence, concentration, and behavior inside biological systems. The goal is understanding, not alarm. The first thing science measures is concentration. Grayanotoxins can exist at different levels depending on plant species, flowering stage, climate, and location. In honey, these levels vary naturally from batch to batch. This is why laboratory testing is essential. Visual inspection or taste cannot provide accurate information about compound levels. To measure grayanotoxins, laboratories use analytical tools such as liquid chromatography and mass spectrometry. These methods allow scientists to separate individual compounds and identify them at very low concentrations. This precision helps researchers understand how much of a compound is present rather than relying on general descriptions. Another focus of scientific measurement is variability. Grayanotoxin levels are not fixed. They change with seasons, altitude, and environmental conditions. Science does not treat this variability as a flaw. Instead, it is recognized as a natural feature of plant-based substances. This is why standardization through blending is often avoided when authenticity and traceability are priorities. Researchers also study how grayanotoxins interact with biological systems. This includes examining how these compounds influence nerve signaling pathways at different concentrations. These studies are conducted in controlled settings and are used to establish reference ranges and safety guidance. The emphasis is always on understanding thresholds, not labeling substances as inherently harmful or beneficial. Regulatory bodies, including food safety organizations, rely on this data to issue guidance. Their role is to inform consumers and producers about responsible use, proper labeling, and testing standards. These guidelines are based on measured data, not speculation. They exist to support transparency rather than restrict traditional practices. It is important to understand that science does not evaluate grayanotoxins in isolation. Researchers consider the full matrix in which these compounds appear. In honey, grayanotoxins are part of a complex mixture that includes sugars, enzymes, minerals, pollen, and other plant compounds. This context matters. Whole food matrices behave differently than isolated chemicals. Traditional knowledge aligns closely with this scientific approach. Himalayan communities never approached honey as a uniform product. They recognized that each harvest had its own character and adjusted usage accordingly. Science now provides tools to explain what those communities observed through experience. Another key aspect science measures is traceability. Knowing where a sample comes from helps researchers correlate compound levels with specific plant species and environments. This information supports better understanding and more accurate testing over time. Traceability also builds trust between producers and consumers. Modern testing does not replace traditional knowledge. It complements it. By measuring grayanotoxins precisely, science adds clarity and accountability to practices that already emphasize moderation and awareness. This partnership between observation and measurement strengthens confidence in natural products. Ultimately, understanding grayanotoxins through science removes uncertainty. Measurement replaces myth. Data replaces assumption. When natural compounds are studied carefully and transparently, they can be discussed calmly and responsibly. Science does not ask whether grayanotoxins are good or bad. It asks how they behave, how much is present, and how context shapes their interaction with the body. This measured approach reflects the broader goal of modern wellness, which is balance rather than extremes. By focusing on what science actually measures, we gain a clearer, more grounded understanding of natural chemistry and how it fits into informed, mindful choices. For more clear, science-based, and nature-aligned wellness insights, subscribe and stay connected.